Howdy y'all, it's Jordan Smith. It's the weekend after Thanksgiving, and my father-in-law asked me if I wanted to do a project to help him out, and I said, heck yes. Let me come show you what we got. It's not the car, but how cool is that? It still needs some work. Not quite there. But that's not the project. The project is this plastic cattle tank here. So what happens if you forget to go out and water your cows every day and the water gets low, they reach in over the tank and they push in and they fatigue these spots here next to these gussets, and it cracks out. So my father-in-law recruited my brother-in-law Colin and myself to see if we could weld this back together. And I said, heck yes, I'm a materials joining engineer. I can weld plastic. So we got a few tools from Harbor Freight. We got a hot knife and we got a heat gun, and then we've got some Dremel tools. We're going to clean this up and walk you through how to weld up a plastic cattle tank. Okay, so first step on any welding that you're doing, welding, gluing, any type of joining, is you have to prep the surface. This is really dirty. It's been sitting out there rubbing back and forth, got a lot of embedded dirt in it. So what we're going to do is we are going to use the Dremel tool to clean this joint before we do anything else. I'm just using a cutoff wheel, a reinforced cutoff wheel. It does about the best for cleaning. Alright, so we've got the joint prepped. We cleaned off all the dirt from inside the crack and on either side. So now we are going to start welding it together. So we went to Harbor Freight and got a couple of cheapy tools. You can buy welders for plastic, but when you're out in the middle of nowhere for Thanksgiving, you can't go out and get the kind of tools that you'd need if you're doing this for a living. We got a hot knife. For filler material, we are using a piece of old tank that broke beyond repair. So we cannibalized it for the filler material, and now we're going to weld it up. Alright, so we've tried several different widths, and what we're finding is if you get it too thick, so over about a 1/4 inch thick, it takes too much heat to melt in there and you end up melting your tank faster than you're melting your filler material. Too thin and it gets too limp. You can't push it where you're wanting to go because it just melts and sort of flows down. So this is 1/4 inch plastic material, and then I'm cutting it about a 1/4 inch wide, and I'm running it down a strip maybe 16, 18 inches or so. So I don't think my cutting is going to win any awards, my jigsaw skills, but I've got about a 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch. Maybe it's a little thicker than 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch, but 3/8 by 1/4 as our filler material. So we've got it clean, we've got our filler material cut. Now Colin's going to come help me weld it together. Okay, so we are using the hot knife to preheat the edges, of the crack, get it just molten, and then I'm using the heat gun to preheat my filler material, and then I'll use the heat gun to make the weld. It's important to not hold the heat too long in any one spot, because it will get it'll melt and then gravity will make it drop. So here goes nothing. I'm running this on high fan speed and 1160 Fahrenheit. So it's just getting molten, and I'm pushing it in, and it's bending as it goes. Okay, can you come chop it off on this side? Smooth that out. So I've pushed the filler material into there, and then Colin's coming back and is smoothing it out. But it goes all the way through. We'll show you on the back side. The filler material is coming out the other side. You want to get this one? So he just makes that molten there, and then I come in here and I start shoving the filler material in. Okay, can you cut me off? My rod's too thick. I'll use the thin, skinny end. Yeah, I think I'm too thick on mine. Okay. Open it up a little bit. Okay. 12 o'clock. Hey. Okay, I'm gonna go clean up. I'll be in there in 10 minutes. Okay, yeah. Bring what? All right. Bye. Okay, so what we have done is we cleaned it, we welded it using a hot knife and a heat gun, and it looks pretty good. We want to put a little more strength on there because I'm not convinced that it's a perfect weld, so we're going to put a gusset across the top, maybe 1.5 inches by 3 inches long, just to give some more support on it when it's in service. So same thing, I'm just going to be cutting it out of my...
What do you think about doing this? Put it on the corner.
I like that a lot. Change of plans. We're going to use this and see if we can form it around that corner. That is going to go here. Maybe. Let's heat it up, make it pliable. I'm going to sand it a bit to clean it. Oh, we've got them all
already. All of them?
I cleaned this up with sandpaper a little bit. Still not perfect. Cleaned the tank up, and we're going to melt this down and form it up here.
Just leave them alone.
So the battery's going dead on us, but here it is.
Are y'all gonna work here? Just come.
So that phone call that I got was my wife telling me I had 10 minutes to get to the day after Thanksgiving dinner. And I totally missed it. I went another 25, 30 minutes finishing it up, so I didn't get nearly as much finish shots as I wanted. And when I came back, my father-in-law had already put it out with the cows. So I'm back here in Austin, and I wanted to let you know, before you start melting a bunch of stuff and trying to weld stuff together, you've got two basic types of plastics. You have got your thermoplastics, like this water bottle here, and it is a series of polymers that aren't tied together. So when you heat them up, they're able to slide apart. You can heat them up, they slide apart, you can push them together, and you can let them cool down and they'll solidify. Thermoplastics, like what you have on most of your durable goods, they're made out of a resin, and it's an irreversible reaction. You have two parts that mix together, like an epoxy, for example, and then when it cures, it is what it is. You can't heat it back up and weld it back together. So if I took a hot knife or a torch to this, it's just going to burn and char. It's not going to melt. To where if I took it to this, I could melt it like you saw previously and stick it together. So go out there, have fun, buy you a hot knife, start welding stuff together. Follow me over at Instagram at Jordan Smith Builds. Subscribe to my channel here if I earned it, and we'll see you next time on The Build Show.